Hi everyone, Clev here. Today I'm going to teach you 11.1 circumference and arc length. And our goal today is to find arc length and other measures. We're going to start with circumference. Circumference is the distance around a circle. There are two equations we're going to focus on today. The first one with circumference is that circumference is equal to pi times diameter. And the second one is circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius. We are going to use the equation. It all matters on what they give us. If the problem gives us the diameter, we're going to use the first one. If the problem gives us the radius, we're going to use the second equation. Also remember pi. Pi is a very, very, very long number. We approximate it by using 3.14. But there's also a pi button in your calculator. That's what we're going to use throughout this lesson. Exact and approximate answers. Exact answers are going to keep pi in the answer, and approximate is when we're going to plug pi into our calculator and get some long number. So if we look at our circle here, 9 meters. 9 meters tells us that that is the distance here, diameter. So we are going to use the equation diameter times pi. Well, I can replace diameter with the diameter of our circle, which we see is 9. So this is 9 times pi. That is our exact answer. Now, to approximate the circumference, we would just plug 9 pi into our calculator. And when you do so, you get 28.27. Find the indicated measures. We're going to use exact and approximation again. So the circumference is what we're looking for. So the circumference of a circle with radius 4 centimeters. This time we're going to have to use our second equation, the 2 times pi times r. Well, we know what the radius is. It's 4. So 2 times pi times 4. I can multiply 2 and 4 together to simplify this. That gives me 8 pi. So 8 pi is my exact answer. If I plug this into my calculator, the approximate answer then is 25.13. Next, we're going to talk about arc length. And arc length is the distance along an arc measured in linear units, and it's a portion of the circumference of a circle. We can kind of see this highlighted here in yellow. That is the arc length. That's what we are going to be searching for. There are two equations for arc length. The first one here, theta divided by 360 degrees times 2 pi r. We use this when we're given the radius. And another equation, theta divided by 360 degrees times the circumference. Well, we already know that the circumference is equal to 2 pi r. So these essentially are the same equation. So it just depends on what information is given, which one we use. So here is our first example. We're going to find the length of each red arc. So we are going to find the arc length of AB. Well, the arc length is equal to theta divided by 360 times 2 pi r. I'm going to use this equation because it does give me the radius of the circle. So let's plug in what we know. Theta is the degree measure, and as you see, it's equal to 60 degrees. So 60, we're going to divide that by the entire measure of the circle, 360 degrees, times 2 pi, and once again, our radius is 8. We're going to give approximate answers here. So I'm going to start plugging things into my calculator. I can actually plug this entire thing into my calculator. You just want to be careful that you do 60 divided by 360 first, or put it in parentheses. When you do so, you should get approximately 8.38. So please make sure you practice that so you are getting these answers correct. All right, we're going to practice this again. So we want to find the arc length of this circle. So arc length is equal to theta divided by 360 times 2 pi r. I'm going to use that equation because I know the radius as well as our degree measure. So let's plug everything in. So theta is 60, once again. Divide that by 360 times 2 pi. My radius is 11 here. So I want you all to practice plugging this in your calculator. When you do so, you should get 11.52. Next, instead of trying to find the arc length, we actually have that here. We want to find the circumference. So this is where we're going to, instead of having 2 pi r, we're going to plug in c for our equation. So arc length is equal to theta divided by 360. And in this case, we're going to just write c for circumference. So let's see what we have. Arc length we see is 4.19. So 4.19 is equal to, my degree measure here is 40 degrees. So I'm going to write that here. Divide by 360 times c. C is what we are searching for, or what we are trying to find. Remember, 40 divided by 360 is just a number. So to solve for c, if I'm multiplying by 40 divided by 360, to get rid of that circled, I'm just divide it on by each side. So if I take 4.16, divide that by, and don't forget the parentheses, 40 divided by 36, that will give you c by itself. So if you plug the left-hand side together in your calculator, you will get approximately 37.71. Let's try this again. So same type of problem here. So arc length is equal to theta divided by 360 times the circumference. That's what we're trying to find, is our c value. Arc length, looking at our picture, is 61.26. That is equal to theta, which in our picture is 270. Divide that by 360 times c. So I'm going to divide by 270 divided by 360 on each side. So 61.26, divide that by 270 divided by 360. That is equal to c. So if I plug that in my calculator, I get 81.68. And for my last problem here, this time I'm trying to find the radius. So I'm going to go back to the first equation that I was using. So arc length is equal to theta divided by 360 times 2 pi r. If I look at my picture, my arc length is 10.5. which is equal to theta. Theta is 150 degrees. Divide that by 360 times 2 pi r. So I'm trying to figure out r. Remember, everything that I'm highlighting right now in blue is just a number. Just a crazy number that's not simplified. If I plug all this in my calculator, and don't forget parentheses here, I can simplify that. So I then have 10.5, that doesn't change, is equal to everything in blue here. If I simplify that, it simplifies to 2.618 times r. I just made this problem so much easier because now to get r by itself, all I need to do is divide by 2.618 on each side. 2.618, I'm going to extend the page because those cancel. So 10.5 divided by 2.618 is approximately 4.01. So that is equal to our radius.